I spent my entire life in the same house. I have a younger brother, Aaron, who is also a graduate of St. Clair. My mom was a nurse. My dad retired from Ford, was a superintendent. We were very busy. I spent a lot of time in the summer playing golf at Roseland. Still love to play golf. But our family was primarily focused on hockey. Both my brother and I played AAA hockey for Club 240 back in those days. If Detroit is playing Toronto, I still don red and white. So when I was at the Outdoor Classic, I had a group of about 40 clients with me. I was the only guy wearing a red and white jersey. So originally I thought that I wanted to do a BCom. Got accepted into University of Windsor. But coming out of spending an enormous amount of time on weekends traveling for hockey, not having hockey to do on the weekends anymore, my first year at the University of Windsor, I spent far more time in the U of W pub than I did in courses. I worked at Ford during the summers as a kid, once I turned 18. What it did give me was an opportunity to save a fair bit of money and pay for my schooling. But it also helped steer me in the direction of my career. So I sat down with a woman and suggested that I should go to St. Clair and talk to some folks there. And so I did. I went in and met with some of the folks at St. Clair. And I really liked the idea of advertising and marketing, which was a combination of creative and business. And so I joined the course literally kind of a week after it started. And I can tell you that a month into it, I knew I had found kind of what I was looking for. Instructors that I remember and that I connected with more than others. Susan Davies, who was my media instructor at the time. And then there is George Bauman, who was our marketing professor, who I really connected with as well. George was a great guy, taught me a lot about marketing. And in the end, when we came out of co-op, George connected me with his son, Bruce. And my first intern was working for Bruce at Saatchi & Saatchi. So I oversee all sales, marketing, licensing, and syndication for the entire English Services Corporation. So anything that makes money for the CBC rolls through my team. A bunch of highlights for me over the last 4 years that I've been with the CBC. World Cup in South Africa. I was always a soccer fan-ish, but that really got me interested in the sport. And until you've experienced a World Cup and sitting around with people from all over the world who are absolute fanatics about a sport, it's funny. I'm a massive hockey fan, and I've been lucky enough to attend many Stanley Cup final games, and World Cup is actually a notch above. And then obviously for me, this past Olympics and working with great partners and delivering an Olympics like no one has ever seen or experienced before in a country like Russia was no small feat. So it was a great experience and something that I'll always look back on in my career. St. Clair has a great reputation, but it's interesting, right? You come up here with a small group of individuals who decide that they're going to take a crack at Toronto once they leave school. And I had a handful of folks that came up and actually stayed and still work here. But what was really interesting to me at an early age was the amount of folks that I met who had been in the industry ahead of me who were St. Clair grads, who once they knew you were a St. Clair grad, there's really a camaraderie around those folks here. And there's a bunch of sales folks in our industry here that have come out of St. Clair's program and who have done very well for themselves in this industry. I've been blessed with a wonderful family. My wife, Marcia, I met in my early 30s, and we have 2 wonderful sons. Ethan is our 10-year-old, and Cameron is our 7-year-old. I dedicate a lot of time to my kids, and I've been coaching for their local hockey program for 5 years, 6 years now. So I spend a lot of time on the weekend teaching the young kids how to play hockey. And, I have to say that without them and the support that they give me, I would absolutely not be in the position that I'm in today. We spend a lot of time traveling. We love to travel as a family. So when I can get away from the office, we usually are, either spending time on our boat up north, or we're heading down south or over to Europe or something for trips. I think that education today is probably even more important than it was when I came out, just because of how competitive the marketplace is today. And if you don't have that background, if you don't have that training, it's enormously difficult. You have to understand, I mean, we get hundreds of resumes on a daily basis of people looking for jobs, and there are certain things that will always make students stand out and bring them to the top of the pile, and I would say that having a St. Clair diploma next to their name coming into the industry definitely gives everyone a leg up and will help them access the industry sooner.